All right. A preamble. Adam Conover. I guess he's no longer doing television, right? Well, his like most recent show was The G Word on Netflix, which, knowing how Netflix's business model operates now, probably got canceled or some shit. Anywho. Um Adam do be a con. That's true. And real, Boy Meets Mini. So real. My sort of general engagement with Adam. He used to be on BuzzFeed, right? I think so. Generally speaking, I really liked his sort of Adam Ruins Everything show where he got into politics and whatnot. We all remember like the first initial Joe Rogan interview where like the Joe asked him about like trans people stuff. He didn't really answer the question very well. Probably because he didn't really know that much about the statistics about the stuff, which is whatever. It also doesn't help that Joe also probably asked him a really dumb fucking question about the whole thing. It doesn't really matter. I found Adam Conover, or Adam Ruins Everything, when he was on True TV, that old stuff, which is like, what, almost 10 years old at this point or some shit. It's fucking wild. That was the sort of stuff that I initially found when doing my sort of political journey. It was, well, besides like the YouTube algorithm trying to feed me Jordan Peterson, which I never really fell for, and fucking James Alsup, and Tim Pool. And I was just like, wow, these guys are kind of cringe. I didn't really think much initially of Tim Pool. Now I think he's a fucking idiot. But eventually I got into like Adam Conover and like the late night show people. And then it eventually turned into Hassan Piker. The alt-left pipeline. Deep with Peterson, Boy Meets Mini? Okay. But this is sort of the baseline level of engagement that I initially had with Adam Conover's sort of content. I guess he does video essays now. That's cool. That's always fun. It'd be like that sometimes. Well, anywho, good old Adam Conover talking about Elon and Zuckerberg being insecure men. Now, this is really interesting. When I first saw this video, I thought this was very interesting because generally speaking, we talk about young men who are very sexually insecure. Not only that being the basis of fascism, generally speaking, but also a lot of complicated sociological reasons for as to why that is also the case. So it's very intriguing when we're talking about, a group of people. I believe the three people that Adam here covers are Bezos, the Big Zuck, and Elon being insecure men is incredibly, incredibly interesting. So I was just like, why don't we take a look at the other side of the coin? Instead of poor young men being sexually frustrated and insecure due to a lot of complicated socioeconomic factors, why don't we take a look at the guys who don't have those same socioeconomic factors, literally have life on a platter, but they're still incredibly insecure? Let's get right into that.
So you might have noticed that seated at Trump's inauguration were the three richest men in America: Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and Elon Musk. Combined, these three broligarchs have 6 testicles and $880 billion. That's nearly $150 billion bucks a nut. But have you noticed?
Dude, that's like the more GDP than most of the planet. Which is, like, just think about that for like even a second. These three dudes have more wealth than probably, 3 billion people or some shit. That's fucking crazy. I know that they have more net worth than Romania. We all know how great of a country Romania is. That fucking dumbass shithole. But then again, that's not necessarily Romania's fault. There's a lot of complicated reasonings for as to why Romania fucking sucks. Although it's been on the up and up for Romania, okay? Good job, Romania. You're getting there, buddy. I believe in you. 2 claps.
Notice that these nerds look a
Yeah,
little
the
less
Soviet Union.
dweeby than they used to. I mean, Elon was a balding code gremlin before his glow up. Bezos, once a simple dork, is today the most jacked and taut 61-year-old on the planet.
Why? Yeah, dude, it's crazy how jacked Bezos is. And he does like fucking thirst traps. It's so weird. It's like, bro, what are you doing?
Years ago, Zuck was a pasty-faced robot glitching out before Congress, but now he looks like the most swagged out real estate agent in all of Orlando. He looks
The fucking like Zoomer LARP that fucking Zuckerberg is doing is so stupid. Bro, you're 40. Why do you look like that? Yeah, code gremlin. He literally can't do shit. Yeah, Elon's code skills extremely fucking basic.
like a TikToker who quit his dad's used car dealership to do pranks with his boys. He looks like a piece of broccoli who got a Billabong gift card. There's something weird going on here. Why exactly do these guys have so much to prove? Why does Zuck need to show us he's lifting big weights? Why does Musk need to tell us he's the world's greatest gamer? And why does Bezos desperately feel the need to share a shirtless selfie every 30 seconds?
Let's talk about a little guy named Karl Marx. Karl Marx wrote about this in terms of the, the bourgeoisie constantly having to do sort of shows of force like this in order to make sure that they don't get stabbed in the back by other aristocrats. Marx wrote about this kind of stuff. It was ruthless to be at the top. You'd have scheming nobles looking to claim your territory, and if you looked like you were portraying weakness, people would go after you. For the other nobles to gobble up your resources, your land, your men, whatever. This is sort of like the, I suppose, modern advent of this exact same idea that Marx wrote about. I don't remember exactly where he wrote about it. I know he wrote about like these sort of like construction of like bourgeois hierarchy. Is that correct to say? I'm not 100% sure. But like, this is essentially what it would possibly look like if the capitalists were to have their way. So competition wouldn't stop there, right? Competition. I say that rhetorically. There would be, a culling, a further and further culling of whoever is weaker and weaker and weaker until there is nothing left but a king on top. Marx also wrote about that, or not technically a king, an effective king. But in this case, it'd be like, I don't know, the one megacorp that like rules the world or some shit. This is essentially the modern advent of this thing that Karl Marx wrote about. Arasaka. True boy meets mini.
It's simply bizarre. These men have enough money to buy themselves limitless power. Hell, Elon used his money to cuck the president and destroy the federal government. But the one thing they can't seem to buy is a stable and confident sense of their own manhood. For some reason, that is not for sale. Why?
That's really, which is really fucking interesting. Because, again, like I said before, it makes sense why poor young men have this problem. They don't have, like, broadly speaking, in a patriarchal sense, you're supposed to be the main breadwinner. Can't have that with the current economy. Fuck no, especially with how ridiculously unstable it is now. Looking at you, Trump, for as to why that shit's happening. And it's made, like I've said before, a lot of men very sort of lost. And so, that insecurity that they have, being the baseline of fascism, young male insecurity, is pretty much the whole, like, sort of mainline catalyst for as to why a lot of these people, generally speaking, tend to end up very conservative. It's all about masculine insecurity.
Why are the most powerful men in the world constantly embarrassing themselves by trying to prove how manly they are? Well,
True.
there's a powerful theory from psychology that perfectly explains this phenomenon. It's been validated in research from all over the world, and it shows exactly what drives these billionaires to ever more cringy attempts to demonstrate their masculinity.
I love cringe.
Come on, man. And it also explains the crisis facing young men in America and exactly how our politics as a nation have gotten so f***ed up. But before we get into it, I just want to remind you that I'm taking my big manly body on tour doing stand-up comedy right now.
Stand-up?
The Nihilism Pivot Tour continues at Talia Hall in Chicago on February 20th. For all
very
those
cool.
tickets.
We love
and
self-promo.
if you'd like to support
Go
this channel
watch
directly,
Adam.
head to
Very cool.
patreon.com/Adam Conover.
We love
So,
Adam
guys,
Conover.
I'm talking to my men here. Let's level with each other.
Men.
Do you ever have that feeling? No matter how often you prove your masculinity, there's no guarantee that you're permanently part of the man club. No matter how long the arc on your football throw, how beefy your big boy truck, or how rare your Fortnite skin, you have to keep performing your manhood all day, every day, or else risk it being questioned or maybe even taken away.
This also plays very heavily into the patriarchy, right? Competition between men to conquer over one another is constant. This is also why a lot of third-way feminists, intersectional feminists, often talk about how patriarchy is also harmful to men. Very, very often, you know, the non-second-way types. Second-way feminists are all like stupid dipshits, misandrous types, who overall add really nothing to the sort of conversation at all. You know, gotta get my fucking dunks in whenever I can. But yeah, patriarchy also has a huge part to play in this, of course. Because if everything becomes like just a zero-sum game, race to the fucking top, or well, honestly, race to the fucking bottom, and you're not really able to participate in those sort of like, in that fucking race, it weighs on you. You begin to feel inadequate as a human. And I think that's pretty bad.
This attitude is so common. Social media is full of videos telling us that even the way we sit needs to communicate manliness.
This is definitely a more feminine way to sit, but a man who's masculine is going to take up space, right?
Manspreading, we're back. Let's go. BuzzFeed manspreading is back, baby. Let's fucking go. We've gone full fucking circle. Dude, like, why are you, like, fucking displaying... Like, dude, you're fucking spreading out your fucking legs. Your fucking cock is coming out. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, yeah, I'm, like, in front of a bunch of men. Here's what I'm gonna do. Look at my fucking penis. Look at it. I'm displaying dominance. Nice fucking meme, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the BuzzFeed feminists were correct about mansplaining. They just did a fucking really bad job about why mansplaining is stupid and fucking cringe.
Nothing's more secure and masculine than letting another man tell you how to sit. Well, there is a powerful psychological theory that explains exactly why masculinity operates like this. It's called fragile masculinity. Now, before you kick my ass, let me just say, that's not saying you're fragile, you're a big, strong man, and I don't want any trouble. It's the structure of masculinity in our society that's fragile. In our culture, manhood is not something
it's kind of like what I mentioned earlier with patriarchy, right? I guess that's the psychological term. I'm not very good with psychology, I'm not gonna lie.
By virtue of being born with a dick between your legs. Instead, it's a status that you need to earn publicly, and that means it's also something you can lose. That makes our social idea of masculinity a continuous source of anxiety for many men, which, as we'll see, has serious repercussions.
I'm talking anecdotally here for a little second. That's a frame. I've never really felt like... Is it weird that I've never really felt like this? I've never really felt like this since, like, grade 9, when I took my sort of, unironic, sort of, like, platonic ideal of a Volcel pledge. Like, unironically. Like, was I just, like, wise beyond my years or something? I don't even know. Because I never really cared about, like, how people perceive my fucking masculinity. Like, I more or less knew. Like, yeah, I'm a big fucking nerd. I like video games. If that's not manly, I don't know. Sucks to suck. Like, what do you want from me? I don't give a shit. Yeah, I'm nerdy and autistic. Here's the fucking funny thing about those fucking dumbasses. Guess what? Being nerdy and autistic's in, boys. I played the long con and it fucking paid off. Ladies, my DMs are open.
Now, just so you know that I'm not talking out of my unwiped manly ass, the theory... All right, we could use that. Is that too gross? This theory draws on...
Dude, the people who unironically believe that it's gay to wipe your ass that's like literal, like fucking, like, pre, like, Islamic golden age fucking tier peasant stupid shit, honestly. It's so fucking funny. Oh, I should get a fucking bidet, dude. Holy shit. I fucking hate wiping my ass. Bidets? Ooh. I should get a fucking bidet, bro.
decades of work.
It's also just perceived competition. If you don't if you don't see any, you don't have fragile masculinity. Yeah, exactly. Like, I understand there's competition and whatnot, but the thing is it's just a dichotomy that I refuse. I understood, like, well, I mean, why is humanity the thing that's on top? It's not because of, like, individualism or competition. It's about, like, we know how to socialize and cooperate with one another. We have, like, the conscious ability to be able to express, like, positions and build social systems and group together in order to get a difficult task completed. We know how to do that. But for some reason, like, nowadays, we have to have, like, you know, a competition for, like, literally fucking everything. Why? Everything used to be communal back in the day. Raising of children used to be communal. I don't know if there was, like, communal wives or some shit. That concept probably wasn't even really a thing back in the day. Like, whatever fucking happened to that? We're social creatures. Why does everything have to be so strangely individualized?
In different fields. In 1990, an anthropologist named David Gilmour published a book called Manhood in the Making, and he found that in non-industrial and agrarian societies globally, manhood was a precious status that men had to earn. Depending on your culture, it might require killing an antelope, going through a circumcision ritual without anesthetic, or putting your hand in a glove filled with fire ants. You know, just regular
That's
dude
crazy.
stuff. Other
Would
social
never do
scientists
that.
have since confirmed Gilmour's findings, and data...
Maybe when I was, like, 14 to 16, I was like that, but it was short-lived. That's good. I mean, that's, like, mostly the people that it affects, right? Like, a lot of, like, young teenage men or boys who are, like, generally speaking, way more uncertain about their place in life because, well, they're super young. They don't know these things, right? So it's, like, quite fucking difficult for them in order to be able to have, like, a healthy outlet of expression of these potential doubts that they have, because they don't know. They haven't developed. They haven't matured enough in order to be able to sort of express these positions, express these doubts, these potential anxieties and fears. So it bubbles up and it explodes into, like, a fucking dipshit, generally speaking.
From history, psychology, sociology, and political science have all shown how widespread these beliefs are. A huge international study looked to see if fragile masculinity existed in 62 different countries, and it found that men and women in hunter-gatherer tribes all the way to Nordic social democracies all see manhood as something hard to get, easy to lose, and that has to be proven in public. But we're talking about America right now.
That's crazy.
So how do you prove your manhood in America? After all, we don't have fire ant glove rituals. Well, according to 50 literal years of research, American masculinity enforces values like aggression, risk-taking, physical achievement, and competition. And let's be clear, Those are good values in many, many cases.
True.
But according to the theory of fragile masculinity, the more you express those values, the more you need to prove them in public, because once again, your manhood is always at risk of being taken away.
This is like a perfect way to sort of explain all those like red pill like manosphere types, because they do that shit all the time. Even like you want to know who fucking has said this shit? Vosh. He always talks about, like, for example, how all these red pill manosphere types, the reason why they flaunt the wealth that they do, and like the women that they don't do it for themselves, they do it for other men. And honestly, like, here's the question that I have. Don't you guys think that's, like, extremely, like, fucking homoerotic? Like, unironically, that is, like, gay as shit, to be honest. Why are you, like, constantly, like, showing off for other men? Typically, it's the men who should be showing off for the women. Maybe all the manosphere types are gay for one another, you know?
And that explains what has been happening with Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg.
True.
We'll get to Elon in a second, but let's start with the Zuck. The man's got a wife, he's got kids, he's got literal billions of dollars, so you know he's a good provider. But still,
That's
Mark
true.
feels the need.
Again, and these are also values that were instilled throughout the fucking 50s. Mostly as like a way to combat communism, you know, McCarthyism, all that fucking bullshit. I mean, these are also sort of like ideas and sort of values that were built up throughout like the advent of fucking patriarchal capitalism and stuff. Now, keep in mind, capitalism is not that old. The idea that like the man needs to be the main provider and shit. These are recent social ideas when in reality, like, if we look throughout history, it never was like that. Even in like peasant agrarian societies, generally speaking, you have a lot of people, a lot of peasants all working together on the land in order to provide for their lord. Of course, there was still a hierarchical structure with the lord on top and the serfs on the bottom, but like this idea that you have to be the one man of the house and or providing for everyone, that's very, very recent. A very recent social phenomenon. As someone who worked blue-collar jobs, it was really, really fucking weird to me how guys would brag about having sex and would go into detail as if they were trying to get arousal for other men. Yeah, that's fucking weird. Why are you telling me this? Why are you telling me how you're busting it down a goofy style on some fucking chick? I don't want to know that. I don't really give a shit. Go away.
To constantly prove to the world that he's not a little bitch. So he's been reaching for the classic masculine value of aggression and getting super into mixed martial arts. Ooh, very strong, Mark.
He's punching.
You'll definitely protect your
He's
family
punching.
from a clan of ninjas in a back alley. Now look, there's nothing wrong with getting in shape and posting your gains on social media. I do the same
True.
thing. Look, we're all just trying to get yoked for YouTube, baby. But getting in lethal fighting shape
That's
wasn't
4
enough
plates?
for Zuck. He
What is
felt
that,
the need to
225?
keep proving
That's
himself.
pretty good.
Dude needed to show the world he was more than just the guy who added stories to Facebook, stories to Instagram, and stories to Messenger, and also WhatsApp status updates that you can now post as stories back to Facebook.
We
So
love
Zuck
stories.
showed up to a real UFC fight as part of the entourage of Australian featherweight Alexander the Great Volkanovski. And there, in a desperate attempt to show us he's tough, he did this.
When he looks at the podium, he's boxing heavy, so of course he's paid special attention to that. Last time we saw him, of course, was against Islam Makhachev, and he stepped up on short notice.
Never.
What the fuck is that, dude? Yeah, look at me. It's happening. Yeah, whoa, it's happening. Yeah, whoa, hey, yeah, I'm here. I don't like... Why was Mark even there as like part of the entourage? Do we like know the sort of like original reasoning? He fought Islam Makhachev of all people, and that dude is scary in the octagon. I never really liked mixed martial. I've never been a mixed martial arts kind of a guy, to be honest. Last dude you want to fight is oh, he's a fucking Chechen dude. Yeah, you don't want to fuck with those guys. Those guys are fucking crazy. Those guys are crazy, dude. You don't want to fuck with those guys. But yeah, like, why the fuck was he even there? I don't understand. Like, fucking, the problem that I have with the UFC and MMA in general is that it's honestly, it's all about just, like, projections of masculinity. I mean, that's more or less the sort of, like, intention Dana White had when he decided to create the sport, I suppose. It's all about just, like, this sort of shallow interpretation of, like, yeah, this is what being a manly man is all about. Look at how manly and man I am. It's just like, cool, man. You do that, bro.
Never has little brother energy been so perfectly expressed. Zuck can spend
True.
hundreds of hours and millions of dollars training, but that doesn't mean he can actually join the cool MMA gang. Instead, they ignored him while he just nodded his head, making him look insecure and pathetic. In his attempt to demonstrate his masculinity, he put his masculine status at risk, and that is
True.
textbook fragile masculinity. The theory says that to prove your manhood, you have to publicly show some manly accomplishment, but if you fail, you are seen as less manly. And thus the Zuck got cucked, as did Musk. See,
True.
Elon has also done.
That's like the again I mentioned earlier. It's you can make the sort of same analogous assessment to, you know, the stuff I mentioned earlier with how aristocrats sort of acted within, like, the king's court. They smelled the weakness, they would take advantage of this. A lot of, like, parallels can be fucking made. You know, like Holy Roman Empire, England, the Kingdom of France, shit like that. You know, all throughout the Middle Ages. You know, similar fucking thing with the bourgeoisie. You gotta be able to display your power in order to not look weak to other people, so you don't get taken advantage of. It's a dog-eat-dog world, even when you're on fucking top of the fucking world. It's fucking crazy.
Done the basic things that should demonstrate he's a man. He's made money and he's got children. Perhaps too much of both. The dude has 12 kids. Oh, sorry. Make that 13 kids.
Apparently, it's even more. That was just crazy. Yeah, the natalism and its consequences. Weirdo natalism.
From this lady, also from his wife Justine, his pop star paramour Grimes, and
Yeah,
an exec
breeders.
from the company he started to torture primates with brain implants. Yeah, that's real. I cannot believe that is real, but it is. The
We are
man
monkey
quite
pilled in
literally
this chat.
has a harem.
We feel
Hey,
bad
I
for
guess
the
if you can't
monkeys.
find enough people to buy your shitty trucks, you could always grow your own. But
Here's the fucking funny thing, you know. Does Elon think he's like doing some, like, Ottoman Sultan shit? Okay, he's trying to be like he's trying to be like the Ottoman fucking Sultan, fucking with this harem of women, because that also fucking happened, right? Yeah, fucking very very Turk behavior of you, Elon. It's kind of weird.
money and women and an ark full of bizarrely named children are not enough for Elon. To show the public he's a man, he seeks the respect of the toughest dudes on the planet. The gamers. You know, nothing says I'm a big, strong man like having your assistant.
Why, like, would he target fucking gamers of all fucking people? It's so fucking weird, dude. Gamers. Why?
Come in to light your gaming candle during your Twitch stream.
All right, we'll add the gaming candle back. Let's add the candle somewhere.
Because you're usually whistling the right-wing pipeline. Well, see, here's the thing with that, Boy Meets Mini.
I don't want to
really
get too
rhetorical.
Freudian here. Sometimes a game.
I don't necessarily think that's even 100% the fucking reasoning. Dude, why do you have the fucking gamer candle, bro? What the fuck is that? You want to know what I have is I got my fucking water, I got my gamer juice, and my setup. That's what's on my desk. Otherwise, I got some other stuff. I got some little neat doodads. Let me introduce you to my crew, okay? I got my crew. We got Larry the Lobster. We got Roberto the Orca. That's my boy Roberto right there. And we got Herman. My boy Herman. They're chill. They're chill with it, bro. And they're always sitting on my desk. We love our boys, Larry, Roberto, and Herman. My boys. What was I saying? Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily because it can be easily whisked into the right-wing pipeline. It's the case for, like, a lot of, like, the stupid younger, like, dipshit ones, because you want to know the people who generally sort of have that interpretation? The people who sort of use games as, like, an excuse to get away from the rest of the world. Those are the guys who get whisked into the right-wing pipeline, the types of people who are called the gamers TM. Because generally speaking, if we're talking about people who are gamers, it's generally a lot of, like, casual people. Anyone who plays a game can be considered a gamer by definition, right? And generally fucking speaking, a lot of the people who play video games sort of casually, like they play like their fucking daily Candy Crush or some shit, they're still gamers. They're playing a fucking game. By all definitions and all meanings, they're a fucking gamer. Those people are not going to be really whisked into the right-wing pipeline, okay? Not really. It's kind of strange, to be honest, right? It's one of those situations where it's just like, these are also like the people who love to fucking complain about the stupidest shit. We all know about fucking pronouns. Fucking dipshit, heel versus babyface, that fucking troglodyte. Where bro is really hates pronouns for some reason. Yeah, grums. These people are like the definition of some of the most insecure fucking dipshit losers. Like, these people are not fucking masculine, manly men. People look at them and think of them as like fucking weirdos. Like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Why do you act in like the way that you act? Most of the normal people. And generally speaking, the people that they dupe are either like socially stunted young men or like dumbass teenagers who don't know any better and haven't developed the basic empathy. Those are like typically like the people. And I guess also like Elon Musk, who is, well, a socially stunted, insecure teenager. But well, you know, we'll get to that.
Gaming candle is just a gaming candle, but perhaps we can see a little bit of fragile masculinity in the fact that Elon keeps his huge synthetic white shaft next to his gaming rig and that he requires someone else to light it up for him. Armchair psychoanalysts, feel free to pop off in the comments.
Yeah, he wants... Okay, we're doing some armchair psychoanalysis. I'm popping off right now, okay? What's like the emote? It's called the venoming, okay? Venoming. He's venoming, and it's like it's an we're getting that emote right now, okay? Quick detour. It's this. Where's 7TV? 7TV. It's this. This is Elon. It's this. It's the cum chalice, bro. This is Elon. Unironically, it's this. It's fucking this shit, dude. Yeah, God, this fucking emote is so fucking funny, dude. I bet that's what he does secretly with the fucking giant gamer candle. Or maybe he like shoves it up his ass or something. I don't know. I don't know why he has a giant white fucking candle. Do I have that emote? I have no idea. Well, anywho. Let's keep going.
But even worse, it turns out that
I'm
Elon,
gonna be
the gamer god, is a total fraud. Gamers watching him stream Path of Exile 2 noticed that Elon appeared to have no idea what he was doing, despite claiming to be one of the best players in the world.
God, it was Crip. I remember Crip. I forget the name of the other guy. What's the name of the other guy? The guy who really did the investigative journalism into this one, and also what? The Reddit thread as well. The Reddit. Listen, I used to shit on Redditors all the time. No more. Reddit is actually based now. Reddit is no longer cringe. Reddit is now based. Because they're like the only social media platform who talks about how much they fucking hate all this fucking bullshit. I can't believe that I'm being forced to admit Reddit No longer cringe. It's actually based. Also, we now have the Venom emote. Very important. Very important for me to say this.
Redditors started tracking his noob behavior and eventually figured out that Elon was boosting, meaning he was paying someone else to play the game for him to level up
Thanks,
his account.
Twitch integration
It's not
for
a
not having my shit.
hurricane machine conspiracy theory. It is beyond
It's
a
Charlie.
shadow of a
You
doubt
scared me.
true that Elon Musk does not play this game.
Dude, there is just nothing more pathetic than lying about how good you are at a video game. Trust me, I learned that at a sleepover when I was 13 years old. Dude
True.
literally could have sent $100 to every teenage boy in America if their approval was that important to him. Just like Mark Zuckerberg, Musk sought out to prove...
Yeah, I am imposter, Charlie. My hair's not long enough. Also, my hair is a dark brown. His is black. Jet black, dude.
his masculinity, and in the attempt, forfeited it. And again, that follows from the theory of fragile masculinity. Manhood is something that you need to earn by publicly proving yourself, and that means it's also something that you can publicly lose. So what happens then? Once you have embarrassed yourself before the public and you look like a little tiny baby boy? Well, if your identity is based around conforming to the masculine stereotype, research again shows that when you fail to live up to that stereotype, all you can do is double down and risk embarrassing yourself again. The research on this is nuts. It shows that men whose manhood is threatened tend to respond with aggression. They literally start drinking more, they punch harder, they take more financial risks, and they show less support for gender and social equality. They even
What's like the fucking like it's like the Tyler 1 meme where he like rips off his shirt, but he's like mostly doing that as like a bit. It's very funny. But yeah, I mean, this is this gets back into like the sort of third way intersectional feminist sort of shit, right? Talking about how patriarchy is also harmful to men, right? Men, if they're not able to display their sort of, you know, masculinity or whatever, or are exhibiting, as Adam is saying here, the effects of fragile masculinity, they tend to act out in ways that they will hurt themselves. Even like Anita Sarkeesian back in the ye old fucking days of 2014 said the exact same fucking point, dude, during her Damsel in Distress fucking series. Same fucking shit. All of these fucking behaviors that you're forced to sort of exhibit, but you're not able to, and you fuck it up and you make yourself look like an idiot, directly like harms you mentally, physically, can harm your fucking relationships, can make you go into like a fucking death spiral. That's what I'm saying. Like, shit like fucking patriarchy is extremely fucking societally dangerous. We've got the fucking 50s to be able to thank for that. And again, like, this is not like a sort of long time honor-bound tradition. This sort of like status quo is a recent advent. I mentioned the fucking 50s. They're the one. That's the sort of era that fucking pushed this the fucking hardest. It's crazy.
even get more enjoyment
Like,
out of sex.
We can move on and like we can do better. We can.
And anti-gay jokes. In other words, men who feel insecure about their manhood because it is being threatened literally compensate by becoming even more ludicrous stereotypes of masculinity. And it's important that we understand something here. Both Musk and Zuck have their masculinity threatened constantly. Even on Musk's own platform X, the one he spent $44 billion to buy, he is repeatedly humiliated. You know how we know that? He literally tweeted, "I am constantly insulted on this platform."
The fact that he actually fucking said that is so fucking crazy. Because it's true, dude. You're being a fucking clown head ass. Dude, you literally made likes private because people discovered that you liked some like weird role-playing ASMR fucking video where there was like this fucking tiny little Asian woman talking about milking your balls or some shit. And so as a result, bro got fucking caught, unironically fucking caught, and he made likes private as a result. It's incredible.
Oh, buddy, that's sad for you, man. Oh, I don't want to feel bad for this guy. And it's not just
You should feel
X.
bad.
In 2022, Elon went on
I'll be
stage
honest.
during a Dave Chappelle show. And at that show,
I
he was
know what he's
booed by the
exactly
crowd
talking about.
for 10 minutes.
This bit was so funny, bro.
Controversy, buddy. Weren't expecting this, were you?
This was incredible.
It sounds like some of them people you fired are in the audience.
This was when he just bought Twitter, I believe, right? And he started like mucking about with it and just making the experience on Twitter, or rather X, the everything app, significantly worse. Because to try to get like some form of adulation, he went to Dave Chappelle's show, asked to go on stage with Dave, and he was just like, yeah, sure, fuck it. Because at this point, this was also when Dave was getting shit for like siding with J.K. Rowling and her like stupid crusade against trans people. Because again, like the take that Dave Chappelle, if you don't really know anything about the topic, can sound like very reasonable. But if it's coming from a dishonest actor like J.K. Rowling, you know that it's just like, no, there's something more insidious that's being said here. That's generally the sort of way you should be engaging with people like Rowling.
Now, you know, someone with a stable sense of their own masculinity might persevere in the face of that kind of public hate.
True.
But Elon is not that someone. The boos were so upsetting to him that he locked himself in his office at X with employees outside concerned that he was going to harm himself.
A fucking
what
wellness
could be more
check
fragile
was
than
called.
having a
That's
breakdown
fucking
after
crazy,
getting heckled at a fucking
dude.
comedy show? If you want to see how I react to getting heckled, come see me on the road. Head to adamconover.net for tickets and tour dates. Both Elon and Zuck
Slick.
are trapped in this cycle of humiliation where they
Slick
feel the need to
self-promo, dude.
prove their masculinity, fail publicly to do so, and then double down, lashing out in ever more aggressive, stereotypically masculine ways. So seen through
Real.
that lens,
And
it
true.
shouldn't be surprising when Elon Musk tweets that he's going to impregnate Taylor Swift or co-signs a tweet suggesting that women shouldn't.
Dude, like, God, this shit was so fucking weird, dude. What was that in reference to with the Taylor Swift impregnation or some shit? Like, why? Oh, and we have like some fucking 4chan schizo rant, and he's saying interesting observation. I forget. I think she was like shit talking some Republican or something, and then like Elon Musk was just like, it's okay, I'm gonna like rape you or some shit, make you pregnant, and then oh wait, no, this was when I think she was shit talking JD Vance's like fucking cat lady shit. I think this is what this is in reference to. What date is it? I can't see the fucking date. I think it says September 19th. 2024. That would have been around the time. Yeah, it's the fucking JD Vance childless cat lady stuff. Where like Taylor Swift was talking shit about that, saying like, yeah, this is really fucking dumb. Wait, what's this fucking like schizo fucking cause so far I'm seeing like low T men, and I can already tell that this is like some stupid fucking like 4chan bullshit. Well, I can also tell from the text, but you know, whatever. People who can't defend themselves physically, women and low T men. Buddy, you live in America. Everyone can get a fucking gun. Parse information through a consensus filter as a safety mechanism. They literally do not ask. They literally do not ask, is this true? They ask, will others be okay with me thinking this is true? I'm trying to think, like, what? First off, we're social creatures. People like, generally speaking, being like with groups of other people. That's how socializing works. But then again, it's coming from a fucking 4chaner who's probably locked in his basement all day, chatting on stupid fucking dumbfuck forums like B in poll, more than likely. And generally speaking, yeah, like if you're like an average human being, you don't have to ask, is this true? You can just look it up. If there's like a certain factoid or word or something that you don't understand, the internet is right there on your fucking phone. You can just look that shit up. Stupid. This makes them very malleable to brute force manufactured consensus. If every screen they look at says the same thing, they will adopt this position because their brain interprets as everyone in the tribe believing it. Bro, what are you fucking talking about, dude? What? Like, I wonder if this fucking 4chaner would say this about scientific consensus. Because guess what? Broadly speaking, since we are social animals and we can sort of observe things and learn about stuff, we can broadly understand if a certain thing happened that has been either like deeply recorded, or people can also understand literally, and everyone fucking agrees with that and says like, yeah, this is a thing that we can all agree generally fucking happened. People, that's just like how consensus is built. This is how human society was generally built. People thought like before, like during primitive accumulation, like, hey, you know what is easier than fucking constantly scavenging the grounds in order to get food? Why don't we just learn how to do irrigation and just grow and begin to just accumulate begin to accumulate wheat? The basis of fucking human society, agriculture. This person would have to be against agriculture because a group of people came together, started doing that, and said like, wow, this is way fucking easier to do over fucking constantly going out on dangerous hunts to try to hunt down animals that you're not necessarily always going to be successful in getting. We can just like stay in one place, keep growing food, and be able to build something communally. Okay, that's way fucking easier. It's interesting because like if you just think about these like for even like 3 seconds, you can just completely deconstruct the fucking nonsense. Phones aren't made to look stuff up. They're made for porn and TikTok. That's true. Only high T alpha males and neurotypical people, autists. So describing the two sort of 4chan archetypes. Hilarious. Are actually free to parse new information with an objective, is this true filter. This is why a republic of high-status males is best for decision-making. Democratic, but a democracy only for those people who are free to think. Funnily enough, you want to know the people who fucking thought like this? It was the fucking founding fathers. Unironically, this is how they fucking thought. But instead of, high-T alpha males, it's like rich aristocrats instead. It's so fucking funny how you can make the through lines. Also, no, what the fuck are you talking about? I love how this is also being known as the Reich effect. Reich effect. I wonder why we're using the word Reich here. If I recall correctly, the Third Reich, that ended up with their leader shooting themselves in the mouth like a little bitch. Yeah, very curious indeed. It's fucking 4chan stuff. I'm debunking 4chan shit, okay? It's obviously just inherently fucking ridiculous.
Vote. Or when Zuck cuts DEI programs at Meta, removes content protections for LGBT people, or goes on Joe Rogan, the most masculine podcast hosted in Texas's gayest city.
But I do think the corporate culture sort of had swung towards being this somewhat more neutered thing. And
God, I remember this fucking goddamn interview where he's just like trying to make himself look like a stupid broccoli fucking zoomer dude with his dumbass fucking perm. Like what is consolidated? Okay, well, what like we'll shit on this again. Fuck it.
I didn't really feel that until I got involved in martial arts.
Dude,
Bro, you're one of the richest fucking people on the planet, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, oh man, the corporate sort of consolidation. What are you fucking talking about, dude? You are the representation of corporate consolidation. You just sound ridiculous. That's true. Yeah, Meta did need more the real masculine energy. Yeah, it needed to become more homoerotic. Needed to be more gay. Like they needed to start like fucking each other in the ass or some shit. Or doing like the if we want to go like full masculine manly men, we need to do like what's that fucking meme image from all the Turkish propaganda about like Slavs? The like sodomy circle basically. Where it's just a bunch of dudes in fezzes fucking each other in the ass. It's so God, that shit is so fucking funny, dude.
I thought you were a powerful CEO. You're telling me you'd take one jujitsu class in a strip mall and change the entire way you run your business? That's pathetic.
That's
your problem
fucking
isn't
stupid,
masculinity.
dude.
It's that you stole our data and your metaverse sucks. And I'm
True.
sorry, you can't complain about your corporate culture not being manly.
Bro, like literally the metaverse, like fucking Zuckerberg was complaining. Oh, it's like not complaining, but bragging about like, guys, we got legs, bro. Oh, dude, we have legs now. It's just like, are you fucking for real, dude? Wild.
Enough when nearly 2/3 of your employees are already men. Then, as in any conversation between two real manly men, hunting came up, and Mark brought up his favorite weapon, the bow.
Although my favorite is bow knife.
I've sim raced on my HTC
I mean, that's
Vive,
I think
pretty
like
awesome.
the most.
Amazing.
That feels like the most kind of sporting.
And hey, that's cool as hell. Killing
Bow.
an animal with a gun, easy, but using a bow and arrow, that's personal, visceral. That is the most manly way
Bows
for
are
men
pretty
to
cool.
hunt. Unless, of course,
I've used a
you're
bow
lying
before.
about
They're
it.
fun.
What kind of bow do you have?
Gosh, I didn't get to do it this season, but
I remember this. You can't answer the question, dude. Honestly, that's the most manly way, right? You run up to a fucking deer, fucking pelt it with rocks. You run up, go fucking full caveman man, but like, ugh! Fuck you! Get brained, idiot!
Do you know the company that makes it?
not off the top of my head. I have a few.
You have to know. You
Yeah,
have to
no,
know
this
all
is
that stuff.
embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
I can get you hooked up.
Yeah, it works.
I mean, why lie about this? Why? It's like Mark caught a stomach bug that makes him incapable of holding down his own dignity. He just
That's
has
crazy,
to barf
bro.
this embarrassing shit out. It is
Primal.
utterly humiliating. But you know what? It's also typical. Musk and Zuck aren't outliers. See, as much as I like to make fun of these guys, it's not entirely their fault.
You may be also wondering why is Bezos not really getting mentioned all that much. He hasn't really made the sort of dude bro circuit. Bezos, for the most part, kind of just keeps to himself and just prefers to post thirst traps with, like, I don't know, supermodels or some shit. I don't know. It's weird. Still very fucking weird. And it is like this sort of idea of, like, you know, the patriarchal want and display to sort of have to project yourself and whatnot in order to show your masculine superiority or whatever the fuck. But, you know. You've seen the new woman Bezos is married to, right? No. Jeff Bezos' wife. Who is it this time? Mackenzie Scott. Dude, that's fucking crazy. So much Botox that there's anything wrong with it, but of course, Jesus fucking Christ, it tracks. No, that's his ex. Wait, who's his fucking, who's the current one? Yeah, that's the one he divorced from, right? Lauren Sanchez. Wait, no, yeah, those are the same images I saw. Yeah, dude, she's fucking definitely got work done. There's no fucking way, right? She got fucking work done for sure. What, is she like a model or some shit? That's my assumption. It's also just this thing to show off your body if you really worked hard for it, so that's also a factor I won't completely ignore. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with like showing off your fucking gains, obviously. But it gets like kind of weird if like that's like the only thing that you're generally doing in public fucking life. That you just keep showing off your fucking gains or like whatever the fuck you do with your space fucking company or some shit. It's weird because it's meant to sort of display like, yeah, I'm really like masculine and cool. Look at me. And he's like 61 years old. It's weird.
Fragile masculinity is something that society does to men, that it inflicts upon us. I mean, hell, our own families do it to us. Elon is this way because he was bullied and abused as a child. First and foremost by his macho, overcompensating, flailing businessman of a dad.
Well, I mean, what else does he really have to show off in all reality? Like, the man can get anything he wants. That is also true, Zane. You are correct there. But the thing is that you can also just not show off. What other fucking billionaire does show off like Jeff Bezos? Not really many, right? Most of them are just like curmudgeonly, like fucking weirdo, annoying old fucking like adrenochrome drinkers. Peter Thiel doesn't really do any show-offs because he knows, like, if he does, he comes off as like really fucking weird looking. Yeah, we've all seen that man Peter Thiel speak. He can't fucking do it. We understand where like the sort of like progenitor of like Elon Musk is. Like it's fucking like Peter Thiel. They did used to be fucking butt buddies. Dave Rubin interviewed Thiel this week. Content, baby. I would rather die than watch that. I'm not gonna lie. That can also lay into fragile masculinity, though. The only thing he has to show off is masculinity. Yeah, exactly. And it's also that's like it plays into the fucking patriarchy, right? You have to like be boisterous, show yourself off, be like the main sort of character in order to sort of project yourself as not weak in the eyes of other men, right? That's also a factor.
Who, quote, never tired of telling Elon how worthless he was. I know, I'm sorry, I made you feel bad for Elon Musk, but that is the truth. Fragile masculinity is not a mystic force.
It's all because he's a fucking abused autist. Such is always the basis of fucking fascism. Abused fucking autists. Feels fucking bad, man.
Of human nature, it's a set of ideas that is transmitted from person to person, from shitty dad to pathetic son. And even though Musk and Zuckerberg are the most privileged and powerful people on the planet, they have been absolutely warped by it. At the root of Zuck's decision to allow abuse and harassment of vulnerable people on his platforms, or Musk's efforts to destroy the mechanics of American government from the inside.
Also, I should forgot to fucking message to say this, by the way. Errol Musk, fucking creepy weirdo rapist, literally groomed his stepdaughter into being his fucking wife. That dude's a fucking weirdo. Makes sense that he produced a little fucking weirdo shit like Elon. Like that, he's a fucking weirdo, dude.
Are these dudes failures to be the men they imagine themselves to be?
Not to mention also the racism that went on in like Tesla and shit, right? There was constant fucking complaints from like workers of color, right? All the time about how fucking racist the Tesla factory floor was. That's also a fucking thing. Yep, constant fucking slurs. There's reports on this shit, dude.
Just sad, frankly. But, you know, these guys are billionaires. So they're going to be fine no matter what. No matter how much they embarrass themselves, they'll be okay. But when this dynamic happens to real men in the real world, it makes their lives worse. It often kills them. And it explains the fascist turn in American politics. See, our American
Like I also said before, you want to know why? I mean, basis of fascism, obviously, insecure men, you know, mostly in sexual cases, sexual insecurity of men, and you can broadly see why it's the fucking case, dude. It's just sad. Like, what else can you say? It's like, damn, this is just kind of upsetting. Like, it's like no other way to feel besides just bad. I'll be honest. It's just like, this is just sad. And again, consequences of patriarchy. Not only just fragile masculinity, but this is the sort of basis of the society that we have right now. Patriarchal fucking standards. You are expected to be the main fucking man of the fucking house. The main I mean, I've said this point constantly before, but I mean, it always bears reiterating. But same fucking shit is affecting Elon and Zuck. Why they're so fucking insecure in their own masculinity. It's all comes back to patriarchy in the end.
American concept of masculinity, again, is centered around independence, competition, and achievement. All good qualities if you can achieve them in a secure way. But by those terms, many young American men are objectively failing through no fault of their own. First,
Socioeconomic
our
times.
schools
Go.
are leaving men behind.
True.
Their dropout rates are higher and their scores are lower than women. And while they were just as likely to graduate college as women 30 years ago, now women have left them in the dust. And it's not just school, it's in the economy itself. Young men are working less than they did in the past, and their wages are stagnating, especially if they don't have college degrees. And remember, college is expensive in this country, so many men can't access it.
Exactly. It's all a fucking feedback loop that constantly feeds into itself. It's fucking crazy. A lot of men just get their GED, get like a dead-end job, because the only way you're going to get a good job, unless you get lucky, or you know a guy, or you're rich, is through like college. You have to go to college, and even then, after doing college, accruing all that debt for yourself, not even guaranteed that you're going to get a great job. The consequences of like I mean, I've harped on this point all the time, but yeah, wage stagnation. Thank you, Reagan and Thatcher. Suburbanization. It's very expensive to own a fucking car. Gas, insurance, the whole 9 yards. The car itself, obviously, maintenance for that car. Very, very expensive. It makes it a lot more difficult, in order to get to be able to go out and socialize with people. And even if you are able to do that, it's a fucking expensive to go out, dude. Having to spend like $100+ on like a restaurant just to like hang out with fucking people, that's expensive, bro. That's a lot of money. And wages, again, goes back into it feeds back into that fucking loop. Wages are fucking dog shit. You can't fucking pay to go out and socialize with people. That shit's way too fucking expensive. Yeah, and just like Zane said, has a GED, has to go to fucking trade school. Yeah, in order to learn a trade, you gotta go to school. It's virtually a caste system that's more difficult to transcend than ever. Exactly. And I've talked about this constantly. Young men, they're the ones who get the most fucked by this.
World has literally changed around American men. Our economy is no longer structured so that an average guy without a college degree can get a good job to provide for his wife and family. The jobs that these men used to get are simply gone. And that's why young men are also living at home at a way higher rate than young women. Unsurprisingly, young women are not super excited about shacking up with young men who are less likely to have completed their education, gotten a job, or live on their own. And consequently, young men are way more likely to be single and way less likely to have sex than they used to be. Men also experience...
Listen, I've said this before, but yeah, I'm a turbo virgin. I didn't become a fucking cringy weirdo shitlord like most of the shitters that you're gonna fucking find on the internet. But dude, it's tough out there, man. It's not easy. And it's not easy out there for the women either, because most of the men now are fucking stupid shitheads. We all know about the man versus bear shit, right? That's a thing that's commonly fucking brought up. And again, the reason why it's just shit for everyone in general in terms of the fucking dating market fucking hate that term, is because it's difficult to fucking socialize. It's expensive to have a relationship. To go out on dates and shit, that's expensive. Costs a lot of fucking money. It's tough. And especially because of like a lot of patriarchal standards that have also been drilled into women. Like the sort of idea that the man has to be the provider, you know, man's got to pay for everything. It's tough. Luckily, this is young people are the ones who have started sort of breaking this system, recognizing that, hey, like, we understand, like, the economy is shit, your future is bleak, like, we have to, like, work together to try to survive. Like, yeah, you know, we'll split the bill. That's okay. In India, this has only accelerated arranged marriage, and as a result, domestic violence and child abuse. Yep. Also, it exacerbates caste segregation. It honestly, it is just it's the same shit in fucking, even over here, without the fucking caste system. Guys don't know how to date and easily get shit on if they try. Exactly. If you do something cringy in front of a fucking girl, guess what? You get made fun of all the fucking time. That is also fucking happens constantly. Like, people will do like the fucking L Fortnite dance. Be like, oh, you fucking totally botched it with that fucking bitch, idiot. It's all about the fucking competition, right?
Higher rates of loneliness, drug abuse, and suicide. I mean, men commit suicide nearly 4 times as often as women. Just about every social indicator looks worse for men, and that is a serious problem. By the way,
True.
Those last stats are from our sponsor, usafacts.org. If you want
Sponsors?
real data straight from the government, they're the place
Those
to go
sponsors.
to. And you know what? In a time when it seems like no one can agree,
Yeah, no
it's
Fed
really
posting
critical
on
to have
dates. That's true.
useful
Looking at
and
you, Hassan.
reliable data that you know is straight from the source. And usafacts.org
sponsors.
has been a fantastic resource for us
Whoa.
when we've been writing and researching these videos. So check them out, usafacts.org. It's a phenomenal resource. The crisis that men are facing isn't just bad for our health and our wallets. It also harms men's image of ourselves, and it plays
Only
right
4X,
into the
we gotta step
fragile
up our game.
masculinity
True.
trap. If you're not able to earn a living or find a partner,
Real.
that literally threatens your image of your own manhood. And that forces you, once again, to double down. And that has had a powerful
Patriarchy,
effect
man.
on our politics. Research actually shows that the
Patriarchy,
more
dude.
insecure
It's
you
crazy.
are as a man, the more you support tough guy right-wing policies, which
Just like I fucking said, sexual fucking... It always comes back to sexual insecurity being the basis for fucking fascism. Constantly. Same fucking shit, dude.
which is why it should be no surprise that so many young men turned sharply towards Trump this election. If turning to MAGA sues the masculinity of a billionaire who got his feelings hurt by a pro gamer, well, it must do the same thing for an unemployed 25-year-old with no job prospects in a changing economy. That's why Trump's campaign...
Hey, that sounds like me. I have no job prospects in a changing economy. An economy that's changing for the fucking worse. Because, you know, I was sold the fucking lie like, oh yeah, you go into tech, you'll have a great career. Easily. That was a lie. Yeah, I'm immediately gonna become a fucking right-wing VTuber now. Or not VTuber, YouTuber. It's too late. It's over for me. It's so over for me. I'm about to go on my MAGA arc. All right, I'm getting the red hat and everything. It's over for me, boys.
was awash in hyper-masculine images, like this one. And if that seems like a childish version of masculinity, it literally is. In the case of Hulk Hogan, it's literally for children. Eat your vegetables, brothers. But at least it's something. Republicans went out of their way to bring the campaign to young men.
Tom
They
McDonald
targeted them
streaming?
where they
Oh,
were,
God, bro.
watching UFC, listening to dude podcasts, and going to college football games.
Dude, I've said this before, but there needs to be a fucking crackdown on fucking podcasts. I'll say it again. Podcasts, they need to be they exterminatus must be called upon the podcasts. They must be stopped at any and all costs. Must destroy the podcasts.
But what did young men get from the Democrats in 2024? Oh, An invitation to Coach Waltz's roof to clean his gutters while he delivers a lecture about enthusiastic consent. That's worse than fucking nothing. Thanks a lot, Mr. fucking Feeney. Young men are in a crisis.
So
that
fucking
is our
weak.
social and economic reality. And if we do not address the source of that crisis, it will continue to be inflamed by the same compensatory power fantasies that have melted the brains of Zuck and Elon. And to do that, you know, young men, yes, need new forms of media that actually speak to their problems and give them proper role models of what a healthier version of masculinity could look like.
I try to do that. I try my best. I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part. I mentioned about all the fucking problems, right? Socioeconomic issues, patriarchy being more harmful to men than it is helpful to men, and comparing and contrasting that to sort of communal solutions back in ye olden days. But I mean, mostly, the main root cause of it is socioeconomic, mostly. You know, wage stagnation, you can't get a house. It's suburbanization has made it impossible to build meaningful, lasting relationships with other people. There's tons of other fucking factors, you know, the defunding of education. There's so many fucking reasons why it is as bad as it is, and, you know, and inevitably all leading to the sexual frustrations and insecurities of men being exploited by fascists. The bedrock of fascism.
Plenty of people have made that argument, but more importantly than that, they need actual policy that actually addresses their problems. We need more male teachers for struggling male students.
True.
We need to help men get and keep jobs by promoting the hell out of vocational training and making it, guess what, free so people can actually access it.
Whoa, 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 I don't know what you're talking about. Free? What is this, communism, brother?
And we need to make sure that those jobs, when they get them, are stable, good-paying union jobs that actually provide them
what the
life.
Hell, brother?
And when it comes to addressing the unacceptably high rate of male suicide, we need a serious and sustained public health response. Policy is not enough by itself. We also need to change our concept of masculinity to not be so fucking fragile. And you know what?
True.
That is possible. Because while fragile masculinity is seen in societies around the world, different societies...
Also, it's like, yeah, broader patriarchy. It is fragile masculinity, the concept that's being talked about here, but it's pretty analogous to patriarchy, right? I guess, like, patriarchy is not really necessarily being used because that's sort of like a poison term and it's going to be an instant fucking turnoff, right? But, like... same fucking concepts, man. Same shit.
Buy into it more or less. And you know what makes them buy into it less? Gender equality. That's right. Countries with higher levels of gender equality have lower levels of fragile masculinity, have more secure masculinity in their male populace. Yeah, it turns out that oppressing women and queer people doesn't strengthen your manhood. It only makes you more fucking insecure. Kind of makes sense, right? I mean, guys who are secure in their masculinity are generally less likely to bully a gay teen in the cafeteria.
That's true.
And that means that we are not stuck.
Listen, I bully gay people in my chat all the time. I call Boy Meets Mini cringe all the time. Think about it. Fallout 76 has an army training quest in it, where one of the exercises is identifying which person is a communist. It's between a football player, Chinese American kid, and a white kid whose dad is a union miner. Guess what the answer is? Let me guess. It's the fucking Chinese American kid. Is it the Chinese American kid? No, really. What is it? It's the union then. I'm surprised they didn't go like that explicit with it. That I'm surprised about. Bethesda writers make bangers sometimes. That's true. That would have also been a fucking banger as well, right? If they go with like the sort of like, yeah, communists often being used as a pejorative for racism.
Stuck. We can escape the trap of fragile masculinity by treating everyone in society with fairness and empathy. And that means
Because in Fallout universe, there's a lot of anti-communist racism against Chinese people.
that when these supposed
Yeah, that's because of the story of because of like the big war that America and China have, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we're getting sidetracked.
tech visionaries embrace the dumbest version of masculinity and use it to overthrow our government and make it less fair, they're not driving us towards the future. They're grasping at the pathetic past and keeping themselves imprisoned. But you know what?
It's all fucking
There's a big, bright
techno-feudalism,
world
baby.
outside of those bars. One where you can
want
have
you to be a
all
serf
of your
again.
masculine virtues, like bacon burgers, naval history podcasts, and chopping wood with your shirt off. And one in which healthy aggression and competition are valued as the virtues that they are, but also one in which your masculinity doesn't depend on the approval of others, but is secure in itself. So you know what? I think we need to thank Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. Because in their pathetic, grasping insecurity, it turns out they're actually the perfect people to teach us the truth about fragile masculinity and how it imprisons us, and to help us chart a path out. Go for it.
Same thing also happened in like the first Trump term. We all understood how it like cringe fucking Donald Trump eventually became. The problem is that fucking because the Democrats fucking suck at everything. They did a rather wretched job at being able to fucking like properly sort of message that, separating the Trump as an aberration from the rest of the Republican Party. When this is just like conservatism in the Republican Party in general, preying on sexual insecurity of men all the time, their insecurities on literally anything, as a basis for a political movement. Unfortunately, Democrats, they'll never it's such an easy like political RKO, but they'll never fucking seize that opportunity because they suck.
For it, guys, keep embarrassing yourselves in public. It's pretty fun to watch. I want to see you guys windsurf. I want to see you try to do porn and be bad at it. I want to see you go to a biker bar, smash a bottle on the table, and challenge those dudes to a fight. Because you know what? You'll get the shit beaten out of you, but all of us will laugh, and we'll all learn something.
True. All right. Hooray. Video complete. It's a very good video. Big fan. Fantastic. Excellent. Love me some Adam Conover content. I guess we can just get into a conclusion. Fragile masculinity, patriarchy, whatever term it can be called. I guess fragile masculinity is sort of the more correct psychological term to sort of explain the phenomenon. Very, very emblematic of the sort of current times, sort of malaise that we find ourselves in, right? We all have a broader understanding that fucking sexual insecurity is the basis for fucking fascism. And there's a lot of fucking goddamn complicated factors. Looking at you, Ronald Reagan, for why the fuck this is all the fucking case. Thank you, Reagan and Thatcher. It's more difficult to hold down a good job. It's more difficult to fucking get good education, good job prospects. All that fucking shit. All of that fucking shit, to be honest. It's hard out there for men. Education being worse, leaving men behind. There's constant factors that I can just keep going into over and over and over again, and these sort of root bases for as to why that's the case. Anywho. Not really much else to say about this here. Adam Conover pretty much hit the fucking nail on the head. I honestly, I'm trying to think. And what in 2016 made it such that that shit was like a lot more cringe. Can't really think of anything. But I mean, honestly, if Zuck and fucking Elon keep being as cringe as they are, in terms of their projections of masculinity, keep lowering their goddamn approval ratings, maybe the spell will eventually be broken. But again, it'll be broken temporarily, but it needs to be fucking followed up on with good fucking, socially democratic policy. Anywho, not really much else to say here.